90 minutes of hidden psychology habits to fall asleep to. Habit 1. Spotlight Effect. The spotlight effect is a simple idea. We feel like a bright light is on us. We feel like everyone is watching us. Yet most people are busy with their own thoughts. Your mind wants to keep you safe. It looks for threat. It checks for signs of judgment. It thinks eyes are on you, even when they are not. This habit is not a flaw. It is an old safety program. It helped small groups survive. It made people sensitive to social rules. It kept the tribe together. Now the world is larger. The habit still runs. The feeling can be loud. You walk into a room. You feel eyes on your shirt, your hair, your phone, your late arrival. The feeling says you are on a stage. Most people in that room are holding their own spotlight. They feel seen too. They are not tracking you for very long, a few seconds. Then their mind returns to its own loop. Notice how this habit shows up in daily scenes. You drop a fork in a cafe. It feels massive. Your heart bumps, your face warms, you imagine whispers. Then the room goes on, the coffee pours. The chair moves, the door opens, the moment passes. Another scene, you speak in a meeting. Your voice shakes, you notice a word stumble. Your brain replays the stumble. It plays it again and again. Yet most people heard your main point, then their mind moved on. The habit can make us hide from helpful action. You do not ask a question in class. You do not post a project. You do not wear the bright shirt you like. You avoid the gym on a busy hour. All because of a feeling that overstates attention. A gentle practice can soften the habit. Name it when it appears. Say in your mind, spotlight, then breathe slow. Look for 3 neutral details in the room. Count 3 objects. Feel the chair, feel the ground. Let the body know it is safe. Try a friendly experiment. Do one tiny action that you were avoiding. Smile at the barista. Ask a simple question in a meeting. Wear the bright shirt on a quiet day. Notice what happens. Write down the actual reactions. Compare them with the fearful prediction. You will see a pattern. The world rarely reacts as loudly as the feeling predicts. You will learn through calm evidence. We also flip the habit to grow kindness. We remember that other people feel the same spotlight, so we offer small help. We nod when they speak. We hold the door. We say thank you. We give them a soft landing. Over time, the habit loosens, the body trusts the room. Action feels lighter. Attention returns to what matters, the next right step, the next kind word, the task at hand. When the spotlight returns, you know the move, name it, breathe, scan 3 neutrals, choose one small act. Step forward, let the moment pass. Habit 2. Framing Effect. Framing is the way a choice is wrapped. The same facts can wear 2 coats. One coat makes a loss feel scary. One coat makes a gain feel calm. The brain uses shortcuts. It needs speed. It leans on the first picture it sees. The frame sets the mood. The mood nudges the choice. A carton says 95% fat-free. It feels light. The same carton could say 5% fat. It feels heavy. The numbers match. The feelings do not match. The frame did the work. A doctor says this treatment helps 9 out of 10 people. You feel safe. Another doctor says 1 out of 10 people do not improve. You feel nervous. The odds are equal. The frame shifted your body. Framing guides money choices too. A store says save $5 if you pay cash. That is a gain frame. A store says pay a $5 fee if you use card. That is a loss frame. Many people chase the gain and avoid the loss, even when the math is the same. The habit is not a bug. It speeds decisions, yet it can push us away from steady logic. So we build a calm check. We ask, what is the neutral version of this frame? What is the same fact without the coat? Use a daily example. A task sits on your list. The frame says this will take forever. Your shoulders rise, you avoid it. Reframe in plain words. This is 2 steps and a message. You set a timer, you start, the mood changes. Another scene, you think of exercise. The old frame says pain and sweat and judgment. You feel stuck. Try a new frame, 10 minutes of gentle movement at home. Socks on, music low, the frame invites you in. Marketing uses frames on purpose, headlines push loss language. Do not miss this. Limited time only, your brain hears threat and rush. Pause and ask, what do I gain by waiting? What do I lose by rushing? You bring back choice. You can also frame for others in kind ways. If a friend is afraid of change, describe what stays the same. If a team is tired, frame the next step as a short, clear win. If a child feels stuck, frame effort as practice and growth, not as a test of worth. Build a tiny routine. When a choice feels loaded, write the fact in 2 frames, a gain frame and a loss frame, then write a 3rd line. The neutral fact, choose with the 3rd line. Simple and steady. Over time, the habit becomes a skill. You do not fear frames. You see them, you adjust them. You pick the one that keeps you calm and honest. The day feels lighter. The choices feel yours again. Habit 3. Loss aversion is a strong pull inside the mind. The pull says do not lose. The pull says protect what you have. The pull whispers that a small loss is larger than a similar gain. The body listens, the body tightens, the choice becomes heavy. This habit grew in hard times. In early life, a lost tool or a lost store of food could mean danger. The brain learned to weigh losses with extra force. Better to avoid a loss than to chase a gain. The program kept families alive. The program still runs. You see it in money choices. A ticket you bought becomes a chain on your evening. You sit through a dull event because leaving would admit a loss. You keep a poor gadget because selling it locks in a loss. You delay an investment because a small dip feels worse than a steady miss on growth. The calculator in your head becomes quiet while the loss alarm becomes loud. You see it in projects. A plan is not working, yet you cling, because changing would feel like failure. You fear the story you will tell about sunk time. You fear the glance from others. The fear of losing face beats the chance of gaining a better path. You see it in talk. An argument drags on because backing down feels like losing. The bond with the other person becomes a casualty of your fear. Both people try to win the moment and both people lose the day. A calm way forward begins on paper. Write the possible futures and give them size. On the left, write the possible losses and the rough number of each loss. On the right, write the possible gains and their rough number. Beneath that, write the honest chance of each line. Speak the numbers out loud in a slow voice. Notice how the body settles as the mist turns into a table. Add a second page for the cost of inaction. What do I lose if I wait? What do I gain if I move? The habit often hides this page. You bring it into the light. You see that not choosing is also a choice. You see that waiting can be an unseen loss. Practice small, safe losses so the nervous system learns that a loss can land softly. Donate one unused item each week. Cancel one subscription you forgot about. Sell one tool you never touch. Feel the brief sting. Feel it fade. Notice that the sky does not fall. The body will remember this lesson later when the stakes are larger. Use pre-commitments that protect you from hot loss moments. Set a rule that you will leave any event after 30 minutes if it does not serve you. Set a rule that you will sell or give away any item you have not used in 1 year. Set a rule that you will end a project if 2 weekly reviews show no progress. Rules carry you across the loud feeling. Invite a second mind into hard decisions. A friend or teammate without your emotional stake can see cleanly. Ask them to read your numbers page. Ask them to point at the next step. Borrow their calm for a moment, then act. In teams named loss aversion without blame, say we might be protecting our past effort instead of optimizing for the future. Run a small test of the alternative path. Put numbers on both paths after 1 week. Decide from the numbers, not from pride. Respect the work that got you here. Release the work that should not carry you forward. Treat yourself kindly when you notice the habit. Do not scold the fear. Thank it for trying to keep you safe, then widen the frame. Then pick the move that serves the next month and the next year. Take that one step, breathe, and let the moment pass. Habit 4. Anchoring. Anchoring is the quiet weight of the first number or the first idea. The mind uses the first thing as a starting point. Later guesses cling to it even when the first thing is random. The anchor sits under the water line and still moves the ship. You see it on a price tag, a shirt listed at a high number, and then marked down feels like a bargain because the first number anchors your sense of value. You see it in a salary talk where the first range said shapes the final offer. You see it in a charity form where suggested amounts set the anchor for giving. You see it in a home listing where the first price makes later cuts feel like gifts. The anchor can come from inside you as well. A past grade or a past comment can anchor your sense of skill. A first impression can anchor your sense of a person. The anchor is sticky because the mind prefers to adjust from something rather than choose from nothing. The adjustment is often too small. To soften bad anchors, delay them, gather 3 independent sources before you allow a number into your head. For a tool, find 3 fair prices from trusted shops. For a project time estimate, find 3 cases from your past work. Write them down, circle the middle value. Pick from the middle and not from the first loud number you saw. Use outside views. Ask what happened last time we tried this. Ask a peer how long the same task took them. Ask for historical ranges. History is a good anchor because it is slow and boring. Slow and boring beats shiny and wrong. Set your own anchor early when ethics allow it. Say here is the fair range, and here are the reasons. Use calm voice and written facts. A fair anchor protects you from a random anchor placed by chance or by design. In negotiation, remember that movement tends to be proportional to the starting point. Do not accept a poor first number just to keep the peace. Ask for time, bring data, restate your anchor. Make each move small and reasoned. Let silence help you. Create helpful anchors in daily life. Anchor your morning with a small ritual that cues the day. A glass of water, 1 page of a book, a short walk, a brief tidy. When the morning anchor is kind, the day drifts toward kind work. Create anchors for breaks, a stretch and a window look. Create anchors for evening, lights down and devices away, and a short line on paper. Check for hidden anchors when judging people and ideas. Ask what first fact is coloring my view. Ask what would I think if I had met this person in a different context. List 3 fresh observations. Let them loosen the old weight. Run tiny exercises to feel anchoring in your hands. Guess the price of an object without seeing any label, then see the label. Then guess again for a second object while ignoring the first label. Notice how hard it is to ignore. Notice that naming the anchor out loud gives you a little more freedom. Practice this naming until the space grows. Teach teams to ask a standard pair in reviews, what was our anchor? Was it fair? When estimates are off, look back to the first assumption and record the gap. Build a library of better anchors for the future. Your planning will grow steadier month by month. Anchors will always appear because the mind needs a place to start. Your job is to choose where to tie the rope. Choose slow facts over fast noise. Choose middle ranges over extremes. Choose your own kind routines over random pulls. Then let the day float in the right direction. Habit 5, Sunk Cost Habit. Sunk cost is the pull of the past on the present. The mind sees time and money already spent, and it tries to protect that effort. The mind says keep going or you will waste what you paid. The mind tries to save the past even when the future would be better with a change. This pull made sense when resources were scarce. In a small village, a broken tool still had parts you could reuse. Walking away too early could mean hunger. The brain learned to prefer staying. The brain learned to fear the feeling of waste. The program still runs today in shops and screens and offices. You see the habit in small nights. You buy a movie and it is dull. You keep watching because stopping would mean you wasted the ticket. You walk out and the night opens. Yet the habit fights the door. The habit says sit and finish. The habit values the past over the next hour of your life. You see the habit in work. A plan drags and returns little. You stay because the timeline is long and the pride is high. You fear that changing will look like failure. The feeling of saving face traps you and the team. The cost of staying grows larger than the cost of starting fresh. You see the habit in gear and subscriptions. A tool sits unused, yet you keep paying. A membership stays active, though you barely touch it. The monthly charge is small, so the decision never arrives. The habit uses small numbers to build a heavy chain. A calm reset begins with a single rule. Past costs are gone. The only numbers that matter are the next hour and the next dollar. Write those numbers on paper so the body can see them. Paper cools heat. Paper turns fog into shapes. Make a second page for the cost of inaction. What will I lose if I wait? What will I gain if I move? Name the loss of time. Name the loss of mood. Name the loss of trust. The habit usually hides this page. Bring it forward and read it in a slow voice. Use bright lines that you set before you feel tired. If 2 weekly reviews show no progress, then we pause or we end. If a tool is untouched for 3 months, then we sell or donate. If a show fails to lift us in 20 minutes, then we switch to a walk or a book. Bright lines carry you across sticky moments. Practice safe exits so the nervous system learns that leaving can be gentle. Stop a book that does not feed you. End a game that does not delight you. Cancel one small subscription today. Let the body feel the short sting and the long relief. Collect these small proofs that exit is a skill and not a shame. Switch from rescue thinking to salvage thinking. Ask what value can be kept and what weight can be dropped. Save the notes and the templates. List the lessons and the contacts. Release the scope that does not serve the next step. Thank the work for what it taught. Do not chain the future to the past. Invite a clean outside voice when the pull is strong. A friend or a teammate without your sunk feeling can see straight lines. Ask them to read your 2 pages. Ask them for one next move. Borrow their calm and act within 1 day. In teams, use stage gates and exit criteria that are written in advance. Decide what success looks like before you start. Decide what failure looks like before you feel it. Hold blameless reviews when you pivot. Protect people who tell the truth about stuck work. Reward the clean stop as much as the clean win. Sunk cost will still whisper in your ear. You will hear it, and you will say, "Thank you for trying to protect me." Then you will read the next hour and the next dollar. Then you will choose the lighter path. You will carry the learning and not the weight. You will feel your evening return. Habit 6, Social Proof. Social proof is the habit of looking to others to decide what is safe and what is good. The mind scans the group and mirrors it. The mind saves energy by following signs of approval. In a village, this kept people in sync. In a city of screens, this can drift you away from your own needs. The habit can help. A busy cafe may signal good food. A crowded path may signal a safe trail. A book that many readers finish may be clear and useful. The group can carry knowledge that no single person holds. The group can be a soft map. The habit can also mislead. Numbers can be bought, counts can be faked. A bandwagon can be loud and wrong. You can end up choosing for the crowd and not for your life. You can feel empty even as you follow the line. Use social proof as a hint and not a command. Pause before you copy. Ask what the crowd knows that I do not know. Ask if their goal matches mine. A trader and a teacher read the same chart with different hopes. A student and a parent read the same course with different needs. Alignment matters more than volume. Learn the signs of spiral silence in groups. People hold back when they fear they are alone in their view. The room can look like agreement when it is only quiet. Create safe ways to surface true thoughts. Collect opinions in private first. Ask the quiet person first. Invite second thoughts after a break. The goal is not loud unity. The goal is honest signal. Set your own small tests before you look at scores. Define what a good product means for you. Write 3 criteria in plain words. Does it fit my budget? Does it solve my real problem? Will I still want it in 1 month? Test with your criteria, then glance at ratings. Do not let stars make your list for you. Build taste with no score days. Pick a movie with no ratings. Choose a cafe on a quiet street. Read a short story that no one shared. Keep a journal of what you actually like. Taste grows with use. Taste grows when it is not carried by numbers. Use tiny experiments to replace herd guesses. Try the routine for 7 days before you talk about it. Try the diet for 2 weeks before you post about it. Tell one friend how it felt. Collect your own data. Your nervous system trusts evidence from your own calendar more than evidence from a crowd. Design teams to resist blind herding. Rotate who speaks first. Use written opinions before meetings. Assign a devil advocate who argues the other side with kindness. Run pre-mortems where people list ways a plan could fail. Praise the person who finds the flaw before launch. This saves time and trust. Curate your crowds on purpose. Choose rooms that aim at the life you want. Join groups where kindness is the norm. Follow people who show process and not only highlight reels. Leave rooms that make you anxious and unkind. Social proof will still shape you, so let it shape you toward peace. Remember that metrics are lenses and not truth. Likes rise and fall with time zones and trends. Counts are not care. Speed is not value. Look for the slow signals. Look for the people who return again. Look for the messages that say this helped me sleep. Those are the proof that matters. When the pull to copy grows loud, breathe and speak a simple line. I am allowed to choose for me. Then use your 3 criteria. Then take a small step that fits your life. Over time, the crowd becomes a soft background. Your days become a better fit. Your nights become more quiet. Habit 7. Availability habit. Availability is the habit of judging how common or risky something is by how easily an example comes to mind. The mind uses quick memory as a shortcut. The brain favors vivid stories and recent images because they are easy to recall. The result can be a calm choice or a distorted view, depending on what sits near the top of memory. News stories are loud and clear in the mind. A plane crash headline arrives with bright pictures and strong words. It sits on the top shelf of memory. Quiet safety records do not arrive with pictures. They do not climb to the top. The mind checks the top shelf and says flying feels dangerous. The mind forgets that the shelf was stocked by drama rather than by base rates. The same pattern appears with health fears and product recalls and rare crimes. Vividness wins the race to attention. The brain translates ease of recall into estimated frequency. Ease becomes frequency even when the link is weak. This is why you feel tugged by stories that happen to a friend of a friend, and why you overlook the boring numbers that describe most days. You can build a steadier habit with 2 simple moves. First, you name the pattern. You say availability in your mind when a vivid story pushes you. Naming creates a small gap where a choice can live. Second, you ask for base rates. You ask for the boring numbers that show how often something happens across many days, across many people, across many cases. Collect base rates from sources that prefer slow facts. Public statistics and long studies and institutional reports. Read the numbers out loud and notice how your body changes. Drama makes the chest tight. Numbers open the chest again. Both can be true. A story can be moving and the average can still be calm. Use a small notebook to correct a daily tilt. Write down 3 normal good things that happened today. The weather was kind. The message from a friend was thoughtful. The meal was simple and warm. Normal good things are not vivid. Without a list, they vanish. With a list, they begin to rise on the shelf. The next time your mind checks the shelf, it finds balance, not only alarms. When fear spikes after a vivid story, breathe slow and perform a tiny drill. Speak the story once, then speak the base rate once. Then choose the next action, that would be wise in either case. Buckle the belt, wash the hands, lock the door. By the safe model, the drill keeps you moving without being pulled far from center. Structure your media diet with intent. Choose one time in the day for news. Avoid repeated checks. Replace endless crisis scrolls with a single summary from a calm source. Add one long-form piece each week that uses data and history. Long-form is heavier to lift, but it builds stronger judgment. You are curating the shelf that your future mind will check. In teams and families, design decisions that are friendly to base rates. Before a vote, write a single page that lists the boring numbers. Add trend lines over months, not only days. Add notes on how many comparisons are possible, so small coincidences do not feel like cosmic signs. Make it normal to ask what is the denominator and what is the sample size. Normal words produce normal choices. In personal planning, look at your own logs rather than your mood. Count how many days you walked in the past month. Count how many books you opened. Count how many evenings you slept on time. The mood may say, "I never do this." The log may say, "You often do," or the reverse. The log is your private base rate. Let it steer you gently. Availability will never vanish because it is useful and fast. Your goal is not to silence it. Your goal is to pair it with a partner. Let vivid memory raise a flag. Let base rates set the course. This pairing gives you a calmer day and a quieter night. Habit 8. Recency Habit. Recency is the habit of giving extra weight to the most recent event. The newest thing feels like the truest thing. The last note fills the room and the earlier music fades. This can help when the world changes fast. It can harm when the last spike blinds us to the wider pattern. A single rough message can color your view of a friend for a week. A single missed workout can make your health feel broken. A single hot headline can make a year feel doomed. The mind projects the last frame across the whole film. The mind mistakes the edge for the center. You can soften this pull with a window rule. Decide that you will judge most things with a wider frame. Look back 1 week for mood, and 1 month for habit, and 1 quarter for projects. WRITE, small timelines that show dots rather than peaks. The dots reveal a path that is often steady. The peak was only a hill on the path. Add a cooling off step for charged moments. Delay strong replies by 1 sleep. Sleep resets alarms and returns context. What felt final at night often feels solvable in the morning. Put an auto rule on your phone for after hours. Allow messages. To cue and allow your mind to rest. A rested reply is usually wiser and kinder. Use rolling averages for personal metrics. Track a 7-day average for steps in reading and sleep. Numbers that average across days are less noisy. Design your app or your sheet to show the average by default. Hide the daily spikes until you choose to view them. You are teaching your eyes to prefer trend over twitch. Create end rituals that repair memory. End a meeting with a clear summary and 1 small next step. End a workday with a 2-minute note of 3 wins and 1 intent for tomorrow. These endings shape the memory of the whole period you are using. The peak end pattern in your favor. You are writing a calm final line, so the mind does not write a loud one for you. When giving feedback, do not let the last misstep erase the long stretch of steady effort. Read the log before you speak. Name 3 consistent strengths before the 1 fresh error. Fairness builds trust, and trust builds performance. The last moment should not be the only lens. When judging relationships, beware the last argument effect. A sharp hour does not cancel a decade of care. Use a photo or a letter or a memory of a shared win to widen the frame. Then talk about the issue with the wider frame held in mind. The talk will be more honest and less absolute. Plan reviews on a cadence that fights recency, weekly for tasks, monthly for goals, quarterly for strategy. Place reminders that force perspective. Bring old notes to the new review so you can see how your view changes over time. Growth often hides in plain sight, and recency hides growth. If recency keeps tugging during a crisis, combine it with a short prediction game. Write what you think the next 3 days will show. Then check after 3 days. This humbles hot certainty and trains calibration. Over time, the mind learns that the last moment is a hint and not a verdict. Recency will still add color to the latest event. That is part of being human. You now have tools to see the color and to balance it with the full picture. You will pause, widen, average, and end with care. You will let the day be one day. You will let the night be quiet again. Habit 9. Default Effect. Default effect is the quiet pull of the option that is already selected. It feels safe and effortless. It costs attention to switch. So many days we keep the default without asking if it serves our life. You see this in software and forms. A box is checked for emails. A setting allows tracking. A trial turns into a paid plan unless you act. The design uses friction to lock the path. The default wins because it asks nothing from your hands. You see it in savings and health. Automatic transfers build wealth, while opt-in plans leave people behind. Auto refills keep medicine on time, while manual refills are easy to miss. The same brain that resists harmful defaults can benefit from helpful defaults. The lever is the same, only the direction changes. You see it in rooms. The couch faces the television, so evenings drift to screens. The snack jar sits at eye level, so hands find it first. The charger waits by the bed, so the phone becomes the last light you see. The room sets defaults, and your habits follow the furniture. A kind response is to choose your own defaults with care. Make the easy path the good path. Place a water bottle on your desk. Place the book on your pillow. Place walking shoes by the door. Set Do Not Disturb for the evening. Let gravity pull you toward peace. Audit your digital life once each quarter. Open notifications and turn off what you do not want. Set app limits for the hours that need focus. Set night shift for warmer light. Choose a simple home screen with the few apps you truly use. Remove the rest from sight. You are not removing choice, you are removing noise. Audit your money once each quarter. Make savings automatic, make bill payments automatic. Move long-term investing to a simple plan that runs without your daily input. Let the default grow your future while your attention returns to present life. In teams, set defaults that protect calm and clarity. Default to asynchronous updates before meetings. Default to written agendas before calls. Default to no notifications during focus windows. Default to a shared folder with clear names. Good defaults reduce arguments because the system answers the question before the tension arrives. Use templates to remove resistance at the start. A template for a note. A template for a small plan. A template for a weekly review. When the blank page is no longer blank, the default becomes motion. The brain steps forward with ease. Design your room as if it is a gentle guide. Place a tray near the door for keys and wallet. Place a hamper where clothes come off. Place a charging shelf outside the bedroom. Place a dim lamp near a chair with a blanket. You are telling the evening what you want it to become. Then the evening obeys. Treat external defaults with curiosity, not fear. When a form presents a choice that serves the sender, not you, breathe and switch the toggle. You are allowed to choose the option that fits your values. You do not owe your habits to a box that someone else pre-selected. Teach children and friends about defaults by showing small examples. Pour water into a glass that sits in the light. Place fruit at the front of the shelf. Place the book where hands can reach. Little changes shape days and days shape lives. The lesson is gentle and true. End your day by resetting helpful defaults for tomorrow. Clear the desk. Lay out morning clothes. Write one next step on a card. Set the room to greet the morning you want. When you wake, you will move as if carried by a quiet stream. The stream is the default you chose. The stream is kind. Habit 10. Endowment Effect. Endowment Effect is the habit of valuing what you already own more than an identical thing you do not own. Ownership warms the object. The mind raises its price in the heart. Letting go feels like a loss even when the trade would help you breathe. You see this in closets and garages. A jacket you never wear feels precious because it is yours. A tool you never use feels important because you bought it. A stack of files feels meaningful because you carried it from place to place. The mind adds the story of you to the thing, and the story makes the thing heavy. You see this in deals and sales. A person asks more to give up an item than they would pay to acquire it. The gap is not about quality. The gap is about attachment. The same pattern can hold a project long past its value. The same pattern can hold a belief long past its truth. A gentle way to balance this is to borrow the outsider view. Ask, what would I pay for this today if I did not own it? Write the number. If the number is low and the space is tight, let the item move on. Thank it for what it gave. Release it to someone who will use it. Use photos to keep the story without keeping the object. Take a picture of the jacket. Write a line about where you wore it. Store the story in a small album. Keep the memory light and portable. Free the shelf from the weight of the cloth. Run a 1 and 1 out rule for crowded categories. If a new shirt arrives, an old shirt leaves. If a new app arrives, an old app leaves. This rule turns ownership into a living garden. Growth requires pruning. Pruning keeps the garden healthy and open. Set value checks for subscriptions and memberships. Ask, how many times did I use this in the last month? Ask what problem it solves for me now. If the answers are small, then the endowment is speaking louder than utility. Cancel with a calm breath. You are buying back your attention and your money. Design a letting go day each season. Open one drawer, one shelf, one folder. Decide with the outsider question and the use question. Invite a friend to sit with you if the pull feels strong. Talk as you sort. Lightness grows when you do not lift it alone. When the item is a gift from someone you love, remember that love is not stored in the object. Love is stored in your body and your memory and your actions. Keep one token if it helps. Do not keep the whole box if it hurts. Honor the giver by using the space for the life you are building. Be fair with ideas as well as things. Ideas you carry can feel owned. An old method can feel safe because it is yours. Test the method against results with fresh eyes. If a new method serves better, then let the old method rest. You are not betraying yourself, you are evolving yourself. When selling, set a fair market price from real listings. Not from your feeling. If the item does not move at that price, drop by a small step. Do this twice. If it still sits, then donate. Count the clear space as a return. Count the quiet mind as a return. Those returns are real, even if they do not appear on a receipt. Teach teams to weigh contributions without the endowment glow. Judge proposals by criteria and data. Not by who brought them. Judge tools by current fit. Not by who chose them years ago. Right decisions so the next team can see the fairness. The culture will trust the process when the glow is named and managed. Thank your past self for caring for your things. Then care for your present self by right-sizing your load. Objects that you use will shine brighter when they are not hidden by objects that you keep only because they are yours. Space will breathe. You will sleep with fewer edges around you. You will wake with more room for life. Habit 11, Status Quo Habit. Status Quo Habit is a quiet pull toward what already exists. The current way feels safer than the new way. The known path feels easier than the untested path. The body prefers familiar steps, even when the familiar steps are not kind. This pull kept groups stable. In older times, change could be costly. A new trail might mean danger. A new tool might break. The brain learned to value the known. The brain learned to delay change until proof arrived. The program still runs inside modern days. You notice it when work routines no longer fit, but continue anyway. Meetings stay on the calendar because they have always been there. Files stay in tangled folders because the system is old. The day spends energy carrying habits that no longer serve the present. You notice it at home when a layout no longer matches life. The desk faces distraction. The shelf blocks light. The charger anchors screens near the pillow. These details persist because they are already in place. The path of least resistance is not the path of best living. Status quo habit can be kind when stability matters. A reliable route, a trusted ritual, a safe schedule. These are good anchors. The trouble appears when the anchor becomes a chain. When the old plan blocks a better plan, when comfort becomes a quiet cage. A gentle approach is to make change very small. Change one shelf, move one meeting. Adjust one bedtime rule, try one new route on one day. The nervous system accepts tiny edits. The body learns that change can be calm. Confidence grows as each small shift lands without harm. Set review points in your calendar. Once each month, ask what should stay and what should go. List 3 things to retire. List 3 things to begin. Thank the old items for getting you here. Let them rest so the new items can carry you forward. Use trial periods for change. Test a new habit for 2 weeks. Call it an experiment. Experiments are allowed to end. This language relaxes perfection pressure. You are not proving your identity. You are simply exploring what works better now. Invite feedback from future you. Write a short note before the test begins. Write what you hope the change will feel like. Read the note 2 weeks later. Compare feeling with hope. Keep what helped. Adjust what did not. The loop turns change into a learning rhythm. Recruit your environment as a partner. If you want earlier nights, place dim light and a book near a chair. Move the charger outside the bedroom. If you want more focus, place the good tools within reach and the distracting tools out of sight. The room becomes a quiet coach that makes the better choice the easier choice. In teams, protect people from the fear that change means blame. Run blameless reviews. Write down reasons for the shift. Tie decisions to facts and to shared values. End meetings with one clear next step so endings feel clean. Over time, the culture learns that change is maintenance and not a threat. Status quo habit will still whisper, keep it the same. You can smile at the whisper. You can check the calendar. You can run the small test. You can keep what works and release what does not. This is not restlessness. This is care for the present version of your life. When the day ends, ask one soft question. What tiny change would make tomorrow gentler? Write one line. Prepare one object. The next morning will answer with a lighter start, and the old weight will slowly fade. Habit 12. Mere exposure habit. Mere exposure habit is the way repeated contact makes things feel safer and more likable. The familiar earns trust simply by returning. The mind relaxes when it recognizes a pattern. Comfort grows not only from quality, but also from repetition. You feel this with songs that seemed average at first and later feel dear. You feel this with streets that felt strange and later feel home. You feel this with faces that appear often in your day. Familiarity adds a warm layer that smooths judgment. This habit helps with learning and skill. Repeated practice makes a task feel less sharp. Repeated reading makes an idea feel clear. Repetition lets the body move without strain. The mind spends less energy when it can predict the next step. This habit can also narrow taste and thinking. An algorithm shows the same style again and again. The feed loops a single type of voice. A brand repeats messages until they feel true. Comfort becomes a tunnel. The world outside the tunnel can startle or even scare. Use the habit on purpose for growth. Expose yourself to helpful ideas more often. Place a book you want to absorb where your hands land. Return to one page each evening. Let repetition make wisdom feel natural. Let practice make the skill feel light. Pair exposure with gentle variety to protect openness. Plan variety days for music and food and reading. Pick a new author each month. Visit a different path in your neighborhood. Give unfamiliar things a fair try for a few minutes before you decide. Comfort will slowly include more of the world. Design your home and tools to repeat what you value. Place water where you work. Place a notebook where you think. Place walking shoes where you pass. Every pass is a soft reminder. Every soft reminder is one more exposure. Habits build with little nudges instead of force. Guard against echo chambers with a simple rule. For every set of familiar sources, add one calm source that differs. Read slowly and with curiosity. Do not rush to defend your side. Look for one point you can respect. The goal is not to switch sides. The goal is to keep the mind flexible and kind. When you feel strong pull from an advert or a slogan, ask if the feeling comes from quality or from repetition. Look for reviews that focus on function. Borrow the item if you can. Use a trial where possible. Let real use decide rather than a chorus in your head. Use mere exposure to heal fear of new tasks. Set a timer for 5 minutes and touch the task each day. Open the file, read one line, make one mark. Close it with a small smile. The next day will be easier because the shape is known. After many days, the task that once felt sharp will feel friendly. Teach children and teens the same pattern. Repetition makes skills feel safe. Safety makes learning faster. Repeat the basics with patience. Repeat the values with stories and actions. People remember what returns with care. At night, you can also repeat soft cues that tell the body it is time to rest. One dim lamp, one quiet stretch, one slow breath count, one page of gentle words. Repetition here is a gift. The body will recognize the sequence and begin to soften on its own. Mere exposure habit will always be present. It is neither good nor bad on its own. It is a lever. You choose where to place it. Repeat what is good for you until it becomes home. Add small new things so home can grow. In this way, comfort and curiosity can live in the same room. Habit 13, Confirmation Habit. Confirmation habit is the pull to notice what agrees with us and to miss what does not. The mind wants harmony more than truth. The mind likes a story that fits the shape it already holds. The mind sees familiar notes and plays them louder. The mind hears new notes and turns the volume down. This habit once saved time. In a loud world with limited energy, the brain reused old maps. The brain trusted patterns that had kept us safe. The brain favored signals that matched the map. The brain ignored outliers that slowed decisions. The program still runs even when slower truth would serve us better. You can feel this in news and feeds. You click the headline that praises your side. You scroll past the study that questions it. You talk to friends who share your stance. You mute people who do not. Your world grows tidy and small. Tidy is calming, and small can be blinding. You can feel it in work. You defend a plan because it is your plan. You highlight wins and call them proof. You explain away misses as noise. You collect numbers that flatter the decision. You forget to ask what would change my mind. The project drifts toward a cliff while the story stays rosy. You can feel it in relationships. You label someone as careless or proud. You then notice each moment that fits the label. You overlook each moment that breaks it. The person becomes a cartoon inside your head. The living human fades behind the drawing. The gentle cure begins with one question. What evidence would make me update my view? Write a clear test on paper. Write what you would accept as a real counterexample. Put the paper where you can see it. Now you have a standard that can stop the slide. Practice a small opposite search each week. When you read a claim you like, spend 5 quiet minutes looking for one good reason against it. Pick a calm source rather than a loud one, read slowly and without a fight in your chest. Try to extract one point of value. Even if you keep your stance, you will stretch without snapping. Use a 2-column note when making choices. On the left-right confirms, on the right challenges. Fill both sides with equal care. End with a line called "What I Will Do If I Am Wrong." Future you will thank present you for the safety line when facts shift. Try the steel man habit with friends and teams. Restate the other view in a way that they agree with. Then add your view. Do this before you argue. Do this before you vote. The room will hear respect in your voice. Respect opens ears. Open ears improve plans. And teams use a premortem before big moves. Imagine that the plan failed in 3 months. List reasons in calm detail. Do this in writing and in silence first. Then share and sort the reasons. Adjust the plan to address the top items. The exercise invites disconfirming facts before the story gets too shiny to touch. Rotate a red team role on projects. One person is asked to challenge polite assumptions. One person is asked to ask how we might be wrong. Reward this role. Praise the person who finds the crack before the rain. This turns truth-seeking into culture, not into conflict. At home and in personal growth, hold your labels lightly. When you hear your mind say, "I am the kind of person who," pause and test. Try one tiny behavior that does not fit the label. See what happens. Update the sentence if life allows. Identity can be a story that changes with care. When you feel heat in your chest during a debate, name the habit softly. Say confirmation in your mind. Breathe longer on the out-breath. Ask a curiosity question instead of a defense line. The room will cool. The mind will widen. You will leave with more truth and more peace. Over time, you will still prefer harmony. That is human. Now you will add a second preference for reality. You will build a system that welcomes gentle friction. You will become the kind of person who can change their mind without losing their balance. Your nights will feel quieter because your stories are strong and also kind. Habit 14, Planning Fallacy. Planning fallacy is the habit of underestimating how long things will take. The mind pictures the best path. The mind forgets delays and detours. The mind imagines a clean highway and finds a city of red lights. The result is late work and bruised trust and tired eyes. This habit comes from bright imagination. We see the finished thing and we want to live in it. The picture skips the boring grind. The picture hides the rainy day. The picture is not a liar. The picture is only incomplete. We must teach it to include friction. You can see this in daily chores. You say 10 minutes for the store and 1 hour disappears. You say, "I will reply to messages in a moment," and dusk arrives. You say this edit will be quick, and you meet a new bug and a slow render. The day slips and the plan looks naive. The plan needs help. You can see it in work. Teams make bold timelines to inspire action. The bold line becomes a promise. The promise meets reality and cracks. People hurry and cut corners. People hide misses. The plan that was meant to energize now drains the room. The culture needs a new math. Start with outside views. Ask how long did it take last time. Use actual logs rather than memory. Memory undercounts slow minutes and overcounts proud minutes. Logs are boring and true. Build your estimate from logs. The body will relax when the calendar fits life. Use a range rather than a single number. Say this will take between 2 and 4 hours. Say this will ship between 1 and 2 weeks. Ranges tell the truth about uncertainty. RANGES, protect trust, because ranges hit more often. Ranges can still be improved as data grows. Add buffers that are transparent and kind. Double very small tasks. Add half again for medium tasks. Add more for new work that has unknown parts. Explain the buffer as care, not as laziness. Buffers protect quality. Buffers protect sleep. Buffers protect relationships. Break work into visible steps. List each step on one page. Check off steps as you go. Look at the pace after a few checks. If the pace is slower than imagined, then update the remaining estimate. Tell the people who wait for you. Early truth hurts less than late surprise. Early truth earns trust. Run a pre-flight checklist before you start. Do I have every input? Do I have access? Do I have the latest files? Do I have a quiet block of time? Missing pieces create delays that feel like fate. Checklists prevent fate. Checklists trade pride for progress. Schedule slack on purpose. Leave white space between tasks. Leave one flex block each day for spillover. The mind resists empty squares because the mind loves to promise. Empty squares are not waste. Empty squares are storm drains. Storms come. Let the streets flow. In teams, estimate in groups and in writing. Collect 3 estimates and take the middle. Ask the most optimistic person to name 3 risks. Ask the most cautious person to name 3 speed-ups. Record these notes with the estimate so future you can learn. Improve the next plan with the truth from this plan. Close with a landing ritual after you finish. Write the actual time next to the estimate. Write one reason for the gap. Was it missing inputs? Was it context switching? Was it scope growth? Was it fatigue? Small notes compound into wisdom. Future estimates will grow accurate. Accurate is kinder than fast. Teach yourself to reward accurate promises, not only fast finishes. Praise the teammate who sets a fair date and meets it. Praise yourself when you say no to a date that would crush you. Speed matters, trust matters more. Trust lets speed be sustainable. When planning, Fallacy whispers that this time will be different. Smile and open the log. Breathe and add the buffer. Write the range and the risks. Tell one person what you will do if a delay appears. Then begin. The plan will now hold you instead of you holding a fantasy. The day will land closer to the line. The night will come on time. Habit 15. Present bias. Present bias is the habit of favoring rewards that arrive now over rewards that arrive later. The near fruit feels sweeter than the distant harvest. The hand reaches for what it can touch. The mind discounts the future because the future feels like a story while the present feels like air on the skin. You notice this in food and screens and money. A sweet snack waits within reach, and the promise of steady energy waits in a bowl of fruit across the room. A quick scroll offers easy novelty, while a quiet book offers slow depth. A purchase gives a spark today, while savings give options next year. The present wins because it is loud and close. This habit once protected survival. In uncertain worlds, the future was fragile. A sure meal now could matter more than a larger meal later. The brain learned to seize near gains. The program still runs in calmer worlds where the future is real and can be shaped with care. A gentle fix begins by making future rewards feel near. Translate a year into weeks. Translate weeks into days. Write one sentence that names the felt benefit you will get soon. Better sleep by the weekend. A calmer bill next month. Loose clothes in 2 months give the future a voice that speaks this week. Create tiny immediate wins that sit on the path to the long win. Place a check mark in a small box. Send a 2-line progress note to a friend. Make tea after a walk. Play one song after a page read. The brain learns to pair the good choice with a near reward. The near reward carries you to the far reward without strain. Automate what future you would choose. Set transfers to savings on the day income arrives. Set groceries to include simple staples each week. Set alarms for wind down so sleep begins before you drift into late screens. When good choices happen without fresh effort, the present bias loses its grip. Reduce the pull of near temptations by adding small walls. Store sweets in the highest cabinet. Put the streaming remote in a drawer across the room. Remove payment details from quick checkout. Distance turns the near into the nearly near. Friction gives you time to choose. Bring allies into your plans. Pair workouts with a friend who expects your message. Pair focus blocks with a coworker who checks in at the end. Promises to others move the future into the present because social feelings are immediate. Social feelings anchor action today. Use the rule of just enough today. Pick the smallest version that still counts. 5 minutes of walking. 1 page of writing, 1 set of stretching. Small acts protect streaks. Streaks protect identity. Identity turns choices into default behavior. The present begins to align with the future by habit, rather than by strain. Right, if then lines for common traps. If I feel the urge to scroll, then I stand and drink water. If I want a snack after dinner, then I make tea and wait 10 minutes. If I think buy now, then I add to a one-day list and revisit tomorrow. Rehearsed lines appear fast enough to compete with the pull of now. When the urge shouts, step outside for 1 minute and name 5 simple details. The air is cool, a car passes, a bird moves. A light turns, a leaf shakes, the world grows larger than the urge. The pause returns choice to your hands. You can still choose the treat if you wish. You now choose it rather than being chosen by it. In teams, set milestones with near value as well as far value. Ship a small version that helps someone soon. Celebrate that help. Keep the long vision on the wall. Pair the vision with immediate usefulness. People will feel progress today and stay for the work that pays later. When present bias visits you at night, do not scold it. Thank it for trying to keep you fed and safe. Explain your plan for tomorrow in a single line. Lay out one object that will make the plan easy. Shoes by the door, book on the pillow, bottle on the desk. Sleep with a picture of a near win in your mind. Wake into that picture and step once. The rest will follow. Habit 16, Fundamental Attribution Habit. Fundamental attribution habit is the tilt to explain other people by who they are while explaining yourself, by what happened around you. They are careless becomes the story when they are late. I was delayed by traffic becomes the story when you are late. The mind uses character for others and context for self. The split feels natural and it quietly damages trust. This habit saves mental effort. Guessing motives is faster than gathering facts. The brain loves quick labels that complete the picture. The picture then controls what you notice. Each new slip confirms the label. Each good act looks like an exception. The person becomes a mask you drew rather than a moving human in a moving day. You can feel this in roads and shops and messages. A driver cuts in and you say they are selfish. You cut in later and you say the lane ended. A clerk speaks shortly and you say they are rude. You speak shortly later and you say you were hungry and late. The same action wears 2 stories depending on the actor. A calm antidote starts with lens swapping. When someone disappoints, you ask what situations could make a good person do this: tired family, unclear instructions, a bad night of sleep, a sick child, a broken tool. List 2 or 3 plausible contexts. Notice how your chest changes. Notice how anger loosens when possibility enters. Offer a clear request before a sharp judgment. Say, I expected this by noon and I did not see it. Can you tell me what happened and what you need to finish? This invites context. This invites solutions. This keeps dignity intact. Most people will meet you with the same respect you give. When you disappoint someone, do not hide behind context alone. Name your action and own it. Then add context as information, not as an excuse. Say, I was late and I am sorry. I left without buffer and traffic was worse than I planned. Next time I will leave earlier and send a message if a delay appears. Action plus context plus plan rebuilds trust. Create systems that reduce the chance of unfair labels. Write definitions of done so expectations are shared. Set reminders so deadlines do not rely on memory. Give checklists for handoffs so missing steps are rare. Clear systems let behavior be seen in clearer light. People are judged on the play, not on the fog. Use a cooling phrase when stories rush in. I could be wrong. I am seeing one frame. I will ask one question. Say the phrase under your breath and watch your mind open. Humility makes room for facts. Facts make room for kindness without losing standards. Practice the principle of charity in conversations. Restate what you think the other person meant in a generous way. Ask if you got it right, only then share your view. People relax when they feel accurately seen. Relaxed people give better information. Better information yields better results. Keep a small fairness ritual in your reviews. List one situational factor that helped a success and one that hurt a miss. This prevents halo and horn effects. This trains your team to see systems as well as people. The culture shifts from blame toward improvement. At home, treat labels as weather, not as climate. Say today was careless rather than you are careless. Say this room is messy right now rather than you are a messy person. Small language keeps identity loose enough to change. Loose identity is hopeful. Tight identity is heavy. When a long pattern truly is about character, you will still see it after you have checked context. At that point, set clear boundaries with calm words. Say what you will accept and what you will not. Say what will happen next time. Follow through. Kindness and clarity can walk together. The habit will return because it is old and easy. Meet it with a breath and a question. Trade quick labels for slow observation. Give others the same grace you want for yourself. Hold standards without hard stories. You will notice less friction in your day. You will close more nights with a quieter mind. Habit 17, Dunning-Kruger habit. Dunning-Kruger habit is the curve where little knowledge creates large confidence. Then deeper knowledge creates doubt. Then practice creates steady confidence. The mind cannot see what it does not yet know. So at the start it feels like there is not much to learn. The hill looks small because the fog hides the mountain. You feel this when you try a new craft and it seems easy for a week. The early wins feel bright. The words feel simple. The tools feel friendly. Then you meet the parts you did not know existed. The settings and the edge cases and the trade-offs. Confidence drops and the work feels heavy. This is not failure. This is the fog lifting. The same curve appears in talk. A person reads one article and speaks with sharp certainty. Another person studies for months and speaks with cautious words. The first sounds sure and the second sounds unsure, yet the second holds a larger map. The first holds a sketch. The ear can be fooled by volume. The ear must learn to listen for maps. A kind response is to place yourself on the curve with gentle honesty. Early hill, valley of learning, steady climb. Say the words without shame. Say I am at the early hill, so I will move slowly. Say I am in the valley, so I will protect my mood. Say I am on the steady climb, so I will keep my pace. Labels calm the heart. Create small tests that measure outcomes rather than feelings. Record the time it takes to complete a task. Record the error rate. Record feedback from people who use your work. Let the numbers draw the curve. Let the numbers protect you from the spikes of mood. Ask for guidance from kind experts, not to get praise, but to get a short list of next skills. The right mentor will shrink the mountain into steps. The right mentor will give you drills that fit your level. The right mentor will remind you that early certainty is normal and early humility is wisdom. Practice the phrase, I might be missing something. Use it when a topic is fresh in your hands. It opens the door for others to share knowledge. It slows your mouth before it writes checks that your skill cannot cash. It turns debate into a lesson. It turns pride into growth. Build a feedback loop that repeats. Do the thing, get notes. Fix one clear issue. Do the thing again. Improvement is a circle, not a straight line. Each loop reduces blind spots. Each loop moves you from the early hill into the steady climb. Protect your identity from false certainty and false despair. You are not a fraud when you discover the size of the field. You are a learner. You are not a genius because something felt easy once. You are a learner. The learner identity is light and strong. The learner identity keeps showing up. When you listen to others, reward humility with attention. Lean toward voices that show their sources and their limits. Lean toward voices that change their mind after new evidence. Loud is not the same as true. Calm is not the same as weak. Train your ear for grounded tone. In teams, make room for the valley of learning. Write road maps that include practice time. Celebrate corrected mistakes as signs of vision. Rotate teachers and students so status does not freeze growth. Pair new people with patient guides. Keep a wall of lessons learned so knowledge becomes shared and not hoarded. When confidence feels sky high after a small win, smile and write one step of further study. When confidence feels low after a hard day, smile and write one proof of progress. Both moves keep you centered on practice. Both moves bring you back to the work. Over time, the curve will smooth, the spikes will soften. Your certainty will match your skill. Your voice will sound gentle and firm. You will trust yourself without the need to shout. You will sleep well because your confidence is real. Habit 18. Halo Effect. Halo effect is the glow that one strong trait casts over everything else. Beauty or status or one success lights up the whole picture. The mind then judges all parts by the glow. Good looks become assumed kindness. Loud confidence becomes assumed competence. One great project becomes assumed greatness in all projects. The glow makes the edges blur. You see this in hiring when a famous logo on a history page makes every answer sound smart. You see it in shopping when clean design makes a tool feel solid before you test it. You see it in school when one good grade makes a teacher expect good. Work in every subject, the glow saves time. The glow also hides truth. The glow can flip into a horn when one bad moment colors everything. One late reply becomes a story about character. One rough day becomes a label. The person becomes the mistake in your mind. The nuance is gone. The options for repair are gone. The relationship grows tight and brittle. The gentle cure is to break the glow into parts. List the traits that matter for this choice. Score each trait on its own. For a higher list, care and skill and pace and team fit. For a tool list, function and durability and cost and support. For a person list, behaviors you have seen and behaviors you have not seen. Write the list before you add the glow. Write the list before you add the story. Use blind reviews when possible. Read a sample of work without a name. Read a proposal without a brand. Listen to audio without a face. This removes the glow long enough for the content to speak. Later you can add the context back in. For now you want the signal without the light. Ask for disconfirming evidence on purpose. When the glow says great, ask what would make this not a fit. When the horn says bad, ask what would make this work. Collect one or two facts on the other side. Do this even when you feel sure. Feel sure is often a sign that the glow is driving. Design meetings to separate traits. Talk about culture separately from performance. Talk about idea quality separately from delivery. Talk about leadership tone separately from results. Separation makes it easier to praise and to correct without confusion. Separation protects fairness and trust. In daily life, slow down first impressions. Give yourself one more meeting before you decide. Ask one more question. In writing, try the product for one more day. Look for small cracks in your own story. Your brain will resist. Your calm future self will be grateful. Replace labels with observations. Instead of saying this person is brilliant, say this person solved a hard problem last week under pressure. Instead of saying this tool is perfect, say this tool survived 3 drops and still works. Observations. Anchor talk to facts. Facts are less vulnerable to glow. Offer people a fair way to update their picture with you. If you made a mistake, make 3 consistent good plays in the same area and point them out once. If you are hidden under a horn, ask for concrete expectations and deliver them time and steady behavior can thin both glow and horn. Time and steady behavior bring balance back. Teach this habit at home and in teams with simple drills. Review a small set of examples and write 2 things that fit the glow and 2 things that do not. Practice on ads and on stories and on product pages. Make it a game to spot the glow and to look behind it. A trained eye becomes kinder and sharper at once. Halo effect will not leave because the brain loves shortcuts. Your aim is not to erase it. Your aim is to notice it and to correct for it. You will score parts on their own scales. You will test with your hands and not only with your eyes. You will hold praise and critique with care. You will make choices that age well. You will rest easier because your judgments are clear. Habit 19. Peak End Rule. Peak End Rule is the habit of remembering an experience mostly by its most intense moment and by how it ended. The middle fades while the peak and the ending stay bright. The memory that guides your next choice is not a full recording, It is a simple sketch with one high point and one last line. You feel this on a trip that had one magical hour and a gentle last evening. The travel delays and small hassles fade. You tell friends that it was wonderful. You book again. The peak and the end wrote the story your mind keeps. You feel this. At the dentist, when a procedure is steady and then ends with a sharp sting, the last minutes color the whole visit. You avoid returning for longer than you should. The final note became the headline. You feel this in customer service, when a long queue is followed by one kind agent who solves everything. The ending restores your mood. You leave a good review even though the wait was heavy. The last act mattered more than the early acts. A kind use of this habit is to design soft peaks and soft endings on purpose. You do not chase fake drama. You create honest moments of care and clear resolution. A small celebration in the middle. A clean wrap at the end. The memory becomes lighter and more fair. Create peaks that are simple and true. A warm welcome at the start of a call. A genuine thank you in the middle of a project week. A clear fix during a support chat. One small bright point can carry a long stretch of average effort without pressure or spin. Design endings that reduce friction and leave dignity. End a meeting with a 1-minute summary and one next step. End a workout with relaxed breathing and a short stretch. End a workday with 3 wins on paper and 1 intent for tomorrow. Let closures feel complete so memory can rest. When an experience turns difficult, protect the ending even more. A hard talk can end with appreciation and a plan. A tough shift can end with a team huddle and thanks. A messy day can end with a short tidy and a lamp turned low. The last few minutes are a lever you control. Use the rule to repair unfair memories. If a project feels bad in memory, write the timeline and mark the steady middle. Mark the small wins that were real. Then write a new ending by noting what you learned and what you will do next time. You are not changing facts, you are giving the mind a fuller closing chapter. For learning, create planned peaks and endings that anchor skill. Insert one satisfying mini-challenge in the middle when energy dips. Close with a recap and a fast win. Memory will hold the challenge and the clear finish. Practice will feel more rewarding. You will return sooner. For relationships and more exchanges with gratitude, say thank you for the effort. Say I appreciate you. Say I see what you did there. These small ends build a bank of warm last lines. The relationship will feel richer than the sum of its moments. For content and entertainment at night, choose media that resolves gently rather than media that ends on a cliff. Your sleep will be shaped by the last minutes you consume. Pick a last note that tells your body it is safe to power down. Measure the end of your week with care. Create a short Friday ritual, 1 page of review, and 1 page of next steps. Send 1 thank you message. Set 1 tidy plan for Monday. The weekend will feel open, and the new week will begin without weight. When a day goes wrong, do not chase a perfect peak. Aim for a kind ending, a slow walk, a warm shower, a short line of gratitude. Endings have power far beyond their size. Protect them. Peak end rule will keep shaping memory. Now you will shape the peaks and the ends with intention. You will place honest, bright points and gentle closings. You will craft stories that carry truth and calm. Your future choices will feel wiser and lighter. Your nights will quiet more easily. Habit 20, IKEA Effect. IKEA Effect is the habit of valuing things you helped make more than identical things made by others. Effort adds meaning. The time and sweat you invest become part of how you judge the thing. The product holds your story, and that raises its price in your heart. You feel this when a shelf you built feels dearer than a nicer shelf you bought ready-made. You feel this when a meal you cooked tastes better than the same dish from a shop. You feel this when a simple video you edited means more to you than a slick template someone else cut. Your work adds a glow that outsiders cannot see. This habit is not only about pride, it also builds care and skill. When you assemble something, you learn how it works. When you write your own notes, you understand the idea more deeply. When you cook, you learn timing and taste. Involvement turns knowledge into memory. The hands teach the head. The same habit can blur judgment. You may defend a weak design because it is yours. You may resist feedback because it feels like a slight to your effort. You may keep a clumsy process because you built it. The glow of effort can hide real flaws. The glow can slow growth. Balance pride with standards you write in advance. Before you build, define what good means. Define what done means. Define how you will test function and fit when the build is complete. Judge by the list and not by the feeling. The list protects truth without stealing joy. Invite outside eyes at the right moments. Ask one calm person to use the thing and to speak plainly. Watch where they stumble. Watch how they hold it. Write what you see. Do not defend, fix one issue, then ask again. Your work remains yours, and it also becomes better for real people. Use blind checks where you can. Taste two versions without knowing which one you made. Pick the one that works best. If your version loses, learn and adjust. If your version wins, keep the win and the method that produced it. Blind checks break spells gently. Let effort tokens mark the meaning so objects can go when needed. Keep a photo of the shelf you built. Keep a notebook line about the meal you cooked for someone you love. Keep a short clip of the first edit that taught you a new skill, tokens. Preserve the story while freeing the space. Lightness returns. In teams, use the habit to raise adoption. Invite people to help design the process they will use. Ask for small contributions that matter. A checklist item, a field name, a naming rule. When people build a piece, they value the whole more. Ownership spreads, friction drops. Guard teams against over-attachment to internal tools. Schedule sunset reviews for tools and processes. Ask if this still serves us. Ask if a simpler outside option now exists. If yes, honor the history, migrate with ceremony, archive the lessons. Thank the builders in public. Move on without bitterness. Bring tiny making into daily life to build meaning. Repair a button, oil a hinge, season a pan. Write a line of a song. Plant a herb in a small pot. Small acts of building reduce passivity and increase joy. The room feels more like yours. The day feels more like yours. Use the effect to power healthy habits. Prep simple food for the week. Mix your own spice jar. Set up your own study corner. Craft your own evening wind-down routine. The effort will make the routine feel valuable. You will return to it with less resistance because you built it. Notice the effect in arguments about ideas. People defend what they wrote more fiercely than what they read. Slow debates by moving from my idea to our document. Small shared edits reduce ego heat. The group begins to value the shared thing. rather than the personal flag. When it is time to let go of a project you built, remember that releasing the thing is not releasing the meaning. The meaning lives in your skills and in the people who used the thing. Keep one token and one lesson close with gratitude. Create space for the next build. Sleep with pride that is calm rather than tight.